Now, I'd be lying if I said that last frame with Lottie smiling at both Ern and Vanessa did not make me bawl my eyes out. Couple that with Ern's monologue to Vanessa, I was very saddened by the end of this episode, but also quite happy, but really sad because the show's really coming to a close. For the past 3 seasons, we've witnessed both Ern and Vanessa going through the relationship dilemma, a lot of pushback, a lot of hesitance, a lot of prideful moments between the two, and for their conflicts to finally come to a conclusion, a peaceful one at that, really brings tears to my eye. I thought the two would end off in amicable fashion and they'd both go on to do their own thing. Ern in LA and Vanessa remains in Atlanta raising Lottie. And so if you were to tell me that Ern was going to spill his guts out to Vanessa, recognizing Vanessa as more than Lottie's mom and wanting to be a family, I would be in total disbelief. And so when it comes to that scene in the tent, I was truly taken in for a loop because this was the last thing I was expecting. Throughout the episode, the conversation of LA kept coming up and I knew that if addressed, it would be an uncomfortable thing to talk about, and it quite was, but I also feel it was necessary. But I'm glad that all went well and Ern wasn't let down in any way. Although, to play devil's advocate, I feel as though if Vanessa had given her reasons, I think the writers would make it somewhat justifiable. Even if it were to create a strained relationship between the two, it would more or less reflect a real life relationship, and I wouldn't be too upset about it. I mean, it'd be bittersweet, but still. But either way, I'm pretty glad with what we got. It's a million times better than what I had in mind, and even saying that is a bit of an understatement, because going back to a thought that Vanessa had, what if this whole camping venture was in fact Ern being manipulative? Now, I could be naive, but I would say otherwise. It just wouldn't make any sense. In the latter half of the final season, him being malicious right now would only imply that he has more work to do as a character. I get he's not perfect, but I think the whole idea that he was not being sincere is a little nonsensical. Unless the writers want to end off the season with him being that way, then I guess. I mean, what do you guys think? Do you think those tears are true? I feel that way. Or we could just sum it up to Vanessa having her guard up because she knows him best. I think that would make the most sense. But I digress. If anything, I'm more happy with the fact that Vanessa's thoughts on what she was in terms of her identity was alleviated by the words of Ern, because that has been a prevalent issue in her life since like season 2, and with every passing day nothing ever got better. By who and what she's surrounded by, it only reaffirmed her doubts. And so with Ern's confession, I'm glad that the monologue greatly emphasized that he wanted to build a family not behind circumstance, but because he simply wanted to, and he can only envision it being with Vanessa and only Vanessa. And I think that alone did more than plenty to rid her mind of any insecurity she had, and I just think it was a great sight to see. And that's all the things that I wanted to talk about for this episode. But if I were to leave off with 2 last comments, is it just me or did this one feel a little bit ominous, at least the first half? Like everything from the woods to the cinematography and the conversation of LA, it just felt like it was going to be a slow burn into something bad. I'm glad that wasn't the case. Like, tell me I'm not alone on that, please. And 2, I looked a little bit into the snipe hunt stuff. It's just basically a game where you find or you capture a non-existent animal just called a snipe. And so given that context, it makes sense why Vanessa was on edge when it came to Lottie capturing something which wasn't supposed to happen, and it was probably just to put her at bay while both Ern and Vanessa conversed about whatever. Interestingly enough though, someone on the subreddit made a connection between the snipe and Ern. I did post it to the community tab, and it's honestly stuff like that that is making me already grieve the loss of Atlanta. Like, it's not even over yet and I'm already feeling this way. There's never going to be a show like it, or at least I'm not expecting it in this lifetime, but all great things must come to an end, I guess. And for a moment in this episode, Ern was asking Vanessa, what is so special about Atlanta that you're not like willing to like put it behind you and like move on? And it's almost like Ern, or rather Donald, was telling the audience, we have to let this go at some point, which I'm sure many of us aren't ready to do. But I guess, it is what it is. It's a cycle of life. Anyways, that's all that I wanted to say. Please take care of yourself, and I'll see you guys in the next one.